Hey, what's going on? My name's Anthony Gray. Welcome to a very interesting episode of Grayscale. And what you're looking at is probably a 12 by 14 panel, canvas panel. All right. I'm over on the side of you, and I'm going to do a quick acrylic pour. Okay, right now all you see is just the canvas itself and a measuring cup. Nothing specific, just the measuring cup. Okay, to put my my paints in. What I did was with the color paints, I only have 3 colors: black, fluorescent, iridescent green, and white. The iridescent green and white have Floetrol in them. I believe the white does have a little bit of dimethicone in it also, just to see if it will sell up. The black has some of it too. The phosphorescent green does not. All right, and I'm gonna put some of the colors right into the measuring cup here. All right, now what will come of this when I'm done, who knows? But as you see, I pour a little bit in specific little spots or whatnot, and I'll let it settle a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the bottom of a soda can, plastic soda bottle, and I'm going to pour this over that. That's all. And then we're going to see what comes of it. These are, I used to laugh at people when they did acrylic pours until I started doing them myself, and it's pretty fascinating. So it went from curiosity to just fascination. And depending on the design and what it looks like, I'll usually will, well, this is also like a dirty pour because I'm putting the colors in together. I would usually paint over them. Usually I do. Okay. And my placement of this stuff is also purposeful. All right, now just off the camera, I'm just placing the cups. Just off camera. Okay. Black tends to settle down to the bottom. I'm gonna just use all the black here. Use every stitch of it there. Okay, of course I put a little black on the canvas, but that's okay. It'll be covered up, so that's no biggie there. And you might get some very interesting gray patterns coming out of this. We'll see. Putting in more of the phosphorescent green. And let's get some more white going on in here. You kind of see the patterns happening here. Like I said, this is what's going to go over the soda bottle. Okay. These are pretty, like I say, pretty fascinating to do. You see the white starting to float on top there. What you see in the cup is not the pattern you're going to see when totally finished. And I'm going to use the rest of this phosphorescent green here. And I'll put it right in the center, right dead middle, right in here. I'm going to coat the whole canvas with a looser white. It's just to help the paint flow, move along the canvas. This can be, as you would imagine, a pretty messy thing once totally done. I'll put this off camera over here. Just set it somewhere right now. Okie dokie then. I will now coat this canvas, whole canvas, with the white. Like I said, it just helps the paint move around a bit. This paint's a little watery. Okay. You don't really need too much of it. I just want to cover the whole canvas here. And just to help spread it around a tad, just a cake spreader really. It's good to get one with a little dip to it. Okay, so you're a little above the canvas. It's easier to spread around. Gives a nice even spread. I'll put some on the side and whatnot. I'll be more than likely moving in this canvas around, tipping it and whatnot. There we go. Have it come around over the sides a little bit. Like I say, paint will be moved around and such. These are pretty fun to do, actually. Like, I haven't done one of these in quite some time, so always have a towel handy, so to wipe this stuff off. Baby wipes will work even better. Actually, I got some alcohol pads that can really clean this stuff up too. But you know, these are just mine. They're separate from all my other kitchen utensils. So, you know. Okay. I was thinking on using the bigger one, but maybe I'll experiment with the smaller one first. Just like this. You set it right on there. Just like so. Doesn't necessarily have to be in the middle, but for all intents and purposes right now, we'll put it in the middle. And we're gonna see what comes of it. Now I want to put the bigger one there. Nah, we'll keep with this. Okay. All right. And here's the. You guys get a good look at it. Look at it here. There it is. All right. And we're gonna see what happens. I'm just gonna pour it right in the middle. And whatever happens, happens. Just like so. And as it settles and whatnot. Like I say, I don't know what I'll make or build from this, or what it's going to look like. I'll let it do what it does. It's probably a little bit uneven while you got three of the bigger blotches of color there, but that's okay. Like I say, it may sell up, it may not, all depends. I will let it keep doing what it's doing. It's continuously in motion as long as you got the white paint on the canvas. So what it looks like in the beginning, it may not look the same way in the end. As you see, it spills off into different colors. Different rings of colors, actually. Like I said, I got phosphorescent green, like fingernail polish green, sparkly green, black, and white. The black and the white does have dimethicone in it, so it may sell up. It may. We'll see. And yeah, I'll be moving these around a little bit. See what comes of it. Obviously, I will remove the bottle cap. Continuously in motion, continuously moving. You can see the different swirls of color. What I am happy about is it's not turning gray. At least not yet. I highly doubt that it will. I can actually stop and move it around now. You see it's spilling off into the sides a little bit. That's fine. All that's good. Nothing wrong there. I have more than enough paint here. I'll just put the rest in there. Just like so. And when it drains off, drips off, I'll just remove the top. Like so. This is where it gets messy, a little interesting. Now I'll take it. Since I got plenty going off into the side, I'll try to keep everything in. Try to move a little bit around. Bring some down here. I might want to keep some of that white edge there. Just try to aim some of this in that corner, just a little bit. And then bring the rest back. Bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. Try to get rid of maybe a little bit in that corner. You see it starting to sell on the edges there. And that's fine. I will keep it right here. Starting to come back a little bit. A little bit on my hands. Hence why you would wear gloves, of course. Got a little bit on the sides there, which I wanted. Let me clean my hands off real good here. Now I'm gonna put the torch to it, because if there's bubbles and whatnot happening and going on in there, I wanna get rid of some of those. Interesting design though. Okay, yonder torch. And we're gonna get rid of, as you can, maybe you can see it, some of the bubbles are starting to pop up. It's gonna sell up. See some of the bubbles popping there? And that's fine. This bubbles underneath. Just want to get rid of the bubbles in there. If it sells up, it sells up. That's kind of cool. But you see it starting to sell up there. The dimethicone does that. Try not to keep it on there. You don't want to really burn the paint. So I'll just move it around a bit. Just like so. And I will leave this be. Probably by the evening, end of the day, because this is early morning when I'm recording this. So usually by the end of the day, it should dry up. All depends on the temperature of the room, where you're at and whatnot. I will let it dry, let it drip, let it do exactly what it's doing right now. And yeah, that'll be it. I can tease it around, swirl it around if I really want. But I think I'll keep it somewhat like this. Let it do what it's doing. And let it dry like so. Okay, very interesting. I'll zoom it in a little bit here. See if I can do that. That's zooming it out. Let's zoom it in. So you guys can see what's going on here with it. All right, and bring you up here. Let you see what's doing. All the interesting colors. Phosphorescent green, white, and black. You can see all the little cells there, especially on the corners. Bring it down here. And you see down on the bottom on the sides there. All the minute little cells inside the green. And remember, that green is like fingernail polish, so it's kind of sparkly. I'll bring it down because I know that this camera, the vantage point is a little crooked, so. Very interesting, fun to do. Like I say, I'll leave this just like this. and see how it's formed. It's constantly in motion. It's moving now, even though it appears like it's standing still. It's not standing still. It's moving around pretty decent. Okay, and let me zoom out here. All right. Whoops. But that's what it looks like totally there. Get my hand out of the way. So that's what she's looking at like so far. And we'll see what happens a little bit later on when it totally dries. All right. And like I say, the only I don't use water for the actual paint itself. I just use Floetrol and paint. Okay. Stir it up real good. And for the white paint that I did put on here, I did use a little bit of water and a lot of paint. Like I say, it gets it moving around, flowing around and everything. So, and that white paint usually gets pushed down on the bottom, and that's fine. Because I just want the paint to move around and do all sorts of interesting little things. Pretty much what it's doing right now. Okay. I can probably torch it again or move it around again if I wanted to, but I kind of like the interesting design that I'm looking at right now, so I won't move it around. But I might put the torch to it one more time. Because like I say, bubbles and such kind of spring up. And it's doing that again. See all the little bubbles and such that pops up? It's just settling up. Won't do too much of it. I'll probably leave it alone after this. And whatever happens, happens. I got a number of these torches if one runs out of fuel. But yeah, I'll keep it just like that. Okay. Next time I come back, I'll show you what the dried total effect would look like. All right, be right back. Hey, what's going on? Call me a glutton for punishment. We're going to do another one. Why not? Okay, this time what I've done was added Rain X to some phosphorescent red with some Floetrol. And I got some purple with Floetrol. The black I don't have too much of. It's got dimethicone in it and Rain X. So, and we're gonna pour into yet same cup as I've done before. Not too much black this time, just a little dab of black. And the purple. Nice little flowery pastelish colors. So we'll see what happens with this mess. See if it either turns into mud, turns gray. We'll see what happens. The white I'm using this time is a little thicker on the edges. Yeah, this is a little thicker than what I previously used, which is fine. And this is from the first time I've done it. There. And that is that. Get the trusty scraper, pie, or the cake spreader here, and just evening out the thicker paint all on the edges. Have it go around the edges a little bit. Got more than enough. Spread it all around evenly if you can. I have some of it spilling over to the sides. I've got plenty on here. I find it's just easier to have one of these spreaders. They have a little curve to it. That's good right here. Make sure it goes over the side a little bit. Very messy, very messy. But I guess it's part of the allure to it. And just wipe it right off. Like I say, if I really want to get it spotless, I got alcohol wipes there. Baby wipes to do it, you know. There. That's that. Let's put Mr. Bottle. See, nothing but the bottom of a soda bottle there. You cut it evenly across. Oh, we'll put it off center. We'll put it right there. Why not? Just like that. Okay. Alrighty, and let's let the fun begin. And let's see what happens here with a bigger one here. Put it right in. Let's stop it right there. See what kind of interesting rings and shapes and whatnot will come out of this. What kind of mixes. It's quite fascinating when you do it out of the what colors come with each pour. Obviously it's more black here, but it's more purple over here. Got a little more red over there. Yet it's coming out of the same pour. Then we're gonna have a little fun with this guy. And here we go. Let's bring some of this downward. I'll try to keep all of this in camera. I don't have a monitor for you guys to see. And let's bring some down here. Just over a little bit. I kind of like that little white corner, so let's keep that white corner. We'll spread some of this back over this way. Just like so. I kind of like that white corner. Let's keep the white corner. Let's bring some of this. Let's keep the blotch a little off-centered. Something like that. Let's keep it right here like that. Just for a second. We'll keep it just like so. You see all the cells on the edges here. Interesting. Like I say, I like the whites over there on the corners there. Kind of keeps your patterns kind of centered. Let me torch this real quick. And see what happens here. I think I'm running out of fuel on this one too. Yep. You see the bubbles starting to pop. Need another one. This one ran out too. It's not a good day for lighters, for torches. I got one more over here. Gives me something to do for next time. All right, we're back in business somewhat. There we go. Just want to get some of those air bubbles out of there, if there's any. I won't be moving this around much. I kind of like what it's doing. Okay, I think that's good enough. There's no more bubbles in this thing. A lot of little cells happening. this thing to drain out here. All right. There, finally stopped. Well, anyway, like I said, I kind of like what's happening here with it. Very interesting shapes. Interesting cells happening over there. So let me take the camera and I'll zoom in a little bit. Let's get it on the corner here. It's like that. You guys should be able to see that pretty good. You can see some of those cells forming over there. Look at those interesting colors. And we'll bring, whoops, I'm sorry guys. And we'll bring it down a little bit. If I can. There we go. Right around in the corners here. Hopefully it's in focus. Might not be. Let me zoom out a little bit. You see all the cells on the corner, on the sides. Very interesting. Let's bring it up a little bit here. Try not to make the camera so jerky. Put it in the middle. Love the bands of color. Yeah, I can really move and twirl that around, but I kind of like the look that it's got going on right now, especially with all the cells. So let's put it here. Let's draw back out. All right. And you can see everything that's going on with it. The cells are actually making a frame for the blotch in the center. But there she is. Let's raise this up a little bit so that it can come down. It'll center itself there. And there you go. That's pour number 2. Won't be a pour number 3. I think I used up all the base white, which is cool. The cells are surrounded by a purplish gray and some of the deep purple that's in there. All sorts of the red, which is phosphorescent, turning pinkish with the purple in there. Okay, interesting little bands all up in there. Once again, until it fully dries, it is in movement. I'm just pouring some over the sides here, just over the corner a little bit. There's stuff happening obviously on the corners where they poured over, which gives interesting shapes and patterns on the sides also. In designs, I will take a picture of this when it's finally dry. This is done as I'm talking to you. It's done early in the morning, so it'll be in the evening when it's totally dry. And what I'll do with these is once they're totally dry, I'll varnish them, and if I choose to paint over them, then I'll paint over them with some kind of pattern or whatever. And like I say, it's in constant movement, believe it or not. Even as I'm talking to you, they're in constant movement. I can still shift and move this around if I want to get rid of some of the white edge and spread some of the purple a little bit more, like so. I can spread it right on around, make it a totally different thing, just like so. Have some pour over the edge, like maybe get rid of that white in the corner. And I can bring it back if I want, or just have it come over here to the side, come down a little bit, and bring some of those cells back, just a little, just like that, and pretty much keep it just like this. I can always shift it around. You can always shift it around, and yet it's still in constant motion. So some of it will spring back, some of it will not. And as you can see, I still have more cells here on the edge. So it's constricting and coming back. So it gives you an entirely different design all into itself. All right, now I still got the interesting cell patterns here, even though they're extremely light, but they are there. Okay, I will, once again, the next time I'll be filming this, it will be much later in the afternoon or evening when this stuff is dry, or at least 90% dry. And I'll show you guys what it looks like and take another snapshot of it when it's totally dry. You can see the different looks. All right, once again, thank you for checking this very unusual segment out, because I haven't done too many pours lately, and I wanted to use, I got some paint lingered around I haven't used in a while just for pouring, and I haven't done it in quite a spell, so it's time for me to get some of this stuff going. So stay tuned and let's see what they look like when I come back. Okay, welcome back, guys. As you know, it's been quite some time since I've done these. All right, sorry for that jiggling of the camera there, but as you can see, well, maybe not, well, maybe you can, because a serious time has passed, but look at the shape of the pour now. This is the one with a little more, this has got the iridescent red, it turned maroon. All right, now the other one is a little on the, it's turned around. And it's, plus it's covered in shadow there. So I don't know if you guys can really see that too well because it's underneath the desk. But you can see the color shift. Now all the iridescent green is starting to show through. And everything's spread. Okay, so the paint is in continuous movement until it hardens. All right, so it's been about maybe 5.5 hours or so. Okay, so probably by 10 o'clock these will be totally dry because the room is fairly warm. So, but I just wanted to show you both of the pours. Let me zoom out here, show you both of the pours here, and you can see how they look, if you could tell the difference. When I come back, I'll paint a picture on both of these according to what I see in the background. So stay tuned. Hey, how you doing? Once again, it's another day. Full 24 hours just about from when I first did this pour. Okay, I got them here on the easel, and you can see them both here. All right, I'll zoom in on each one. It's a little more controlled this time. So let's zoom in a little bit here, because it's something that I want to kind of show you, because I posted these. All right, and people seen all sorts of things, and particularly this one here with the iridescent green. All right, you can see maybe the face of a woman. Okay, if I can walk around here and show you. You know, there's the forehead line, there's the nose, the lips, the chin, and whatnot, the side of the jaw. Okay, so that's what someone had pointed out. And if we go a little bit downward, don't know if you can see it, but I can. You will too. There seems to be, I don't know, a colt, pony, or whatever. There's the hoof, leg, the neck, the shape of the head, where the back would be, or whatnot. But it's in there, right around in there. And you know, people see all sorts of interesting shapes and designs and whatnot in these. The other one next to it, not so much. And what I'm gonna do with one of these, I'm gonna paint over it, not destroy it, but just paint something within it. I already have an idea of what I would like to do with this one here, the one that's a little more on the purple side. I'll do something pretty clever with this one. Don't know if it'll be landscape or portrait, but I wanted to show it to you. Finally done in natural light. My room is full of windows, and so that's, you know, how you're looking at it right now. But here they are completed. All right. So the next segment, because these are a series of short segments, so the next segment will be me actually painting on one of these. So stay tuned, and we'll see what I come up with next. Hey, welcome back. All right, we're down to the last stage of this thing here. Acrylic pour showed you how it was done, how I did it anyway. It was a bottom pour that has just been totally skewed and tilted and turned out into a whole different thing. I showed you how once it's initially poured, how it can still form while it's drying. It turns into something totally different, and as you can see, no matter which way it's turned, I mean, it's definitely something different. Okay, I do have an idea for this, and I'm deciding on which way I want it to be vertical, so I'm thinking of either this way with the cells on the top and hitting the floor, or cells on the bottom. So I'm really debating. I'm thinking the cells on the bottom with the object here. Now I won't put the object dead center. It'll be a third away, either this way or this way. And I'm thinking somewhere over here. Okay, and I had the idea in mind of what I want to do. Okay, so when I get back, then I'll get to the initial painting of it, and hopefully everything will pan out, everything will work out. Like I said, I do have this idea in mind, and forgive the glare. It's just the lights up above. I can kill that glare. I may have to anyway because of the shadow. All right, so I might have to pop on the light and I get rid of the shadow, which presents even more glare, but we'll see what happens. Or I'm just gonna have to figure out a better situation for the lighting. Okay. The reason why it's also glaring like this is because I did varnish it. I gave it a light varnish. The paint will go on smoothly. The acrylic paint will go on smoothly over this pour. And plus, if I have to correct something, it's not going to wear away anything on this pour. Okay. And the advantages, I guess, of a pour is that you can put something in it. That's the main subject, and basically that's it. Really, the pour really takes care of the rest of the design, depending on what subject you put in here. All right. When you do pours, people usually see things in pours. Like for instance, the elephant. I had the trunk, the mouth, the ear, part of the back. I could do something totally different just with an elephant in here, if I decided to do so. Okay, but that's what I seen when I looked at it. Yeah, it's the Rorschach test. Everybody sees something a little different, you know. So, but with this guy, I'm going to put something else entirely different, and hopefully it will make sense when I put the practical subject in, and I'll accentuate it a little bit with some things that I have. But when we get back, we'll get right on to it, and that will be more likely the final segment. And you know, later on you'll let me know yay or nay what you think about it. So stay tuned. Again, I'll be right back. Final leg of this YouTube video. I'm going to put a fish in here. That's what I decided I wanted to do. So let's see how well this goes. I'm not going to put the fish dead in the center. He'll be off here to the left, probably the lower left. Right now I just got titanium white paint and somewhat draw out a simple outline of where basically I want them to be, more or less. Simple oblong fish shape of sorts. He's going to have obviously a center fin. It should be somewhere around up there. And something like that. And he's going to have obviously a little fin or something working around in here. We'll work out the eyes and the mouth and details like that a little bit later. The fins I'll try to make translucent so you can see a little bit of the background back there. The fish obviously will be quite solid until it gets to around where his tail is, up around in that area. All right. I just want to establish the shape of the fish. All right. Okay. Now, with that in mind, we get a fairly decent sized brush, something with a nice flowing movement here. The eye, obviously, it's going to be some kind of a goldfish. So, when it comes to the bulk of the body, all right, not the fins, but the mass of the body, I need something kind of opaque, cover all of the line work and whatnot. So I'm going to use a little bit of titanium white and a wee bit of this ochre. All right. And I'm not going to add any medium. I want this to get on the canvas, and I want it to essentially just dry. I'm going to take some nothing but yellow right now. And I'm going to lightly yellow, especially this yellow, very transparent. Okay, it really does it just a press, and I'm just getting the basic shape of his fins. That's all. Almost like the flowers, very flowing and whatnot. Just like that. Just go with the flow with it. Flick of the wrist, just like you're doing petals. Okay, even though I don't totally know which way this is going, I just want the basic shape. I don't care about this. These will be last anyway, but I just want to put the color in there. Same thing with this fella. All I'm doing basically is blocking in color. We'll get into the details and all of that later on. The body of the fish will be my main concern, really, not all of this. This comes later. I just, like I say, blocking in color. Same thing here. And it's the lighter color. You can always go darker. All right. So I'm not really concerned about all of that. And we're going to use a smaller brush anyway, get that effect. All right. So we got most of that done. We're going to get creative. I got white, a little bit of yellow ochre. I'll get a color that I like here. A little more titanium white, and we'll build off this secondary color here. And I'm going to take the tiniest bit of this dark ochre right around the bottom. And I mean the very bottom. Right up around in there. Oh, on the bottom there. And you just fade it in a little bit. We're going to get this a chance to dry and set, because then we'll start layering, if I dare say, even glazing color on this fella. And right now I'm just getting that nice gentle blend of shape, gentle shading, if you will, around this guy. Back and forth, back and forth. A little bit down there. It'll all make sense in a second. The smoothest type of shading you can possibly do for this guy. Back and forth. I'm only using this dark on the small tip corner of the brush. Okay. But you get a sense of roundness already. Okay. Let's get a little titanium white in the mix, just a little bit. Just a little bit. I'm just tapping the smallest bit of titanium white. This is the highest point near his blade here, his spine. Okay. Just establishing just a little bit of where that back, where the light would normally be on this fella, something like this. Don't necessarily have to have a big blotch of white. Okay. And smooth it right in there. Blend it right into that yellow. Okay. Still just fleshing it out. All right. Still keep in mind where his fin would be around in here. Probably another little one here. There's his tail, obviously. The other fin, and then his main fin out here. A little bit of that will be up in here. That fin. Okay. The other fin down here will be obviously underneath. All right. We'll get to all of that a little bit later. We're going to do mainly all of this stuff here. We'll get to make little scales and stuff, and probably glaze in some color. So basically, I'm just gonna let it sit a minute. Let it tack up a bit. Basically. Okay. I'm just looking for a smaller brush. Getting into the yellow ochre. The tiniest bit of red into the yellow ochre itself. And we'll start fleshing out little bits of color on this guy. Yellow ochre and red. More yellow ochre than the red. The red will show. Now remember, I'm trying to get this keep it transparent as I can. Okay. I'll add striations and all that fun stuff when it gets to a little bit of highlighting and all of that. I still want to keep this fella fairly now. As I get towards his flowing little fins here, they'll get more and more detailed. But it all comes with highlighting and all of that, like I say, all that fun stuff. But stuff like that. Getting some more yellow ochre. Getting us the slightest bit of red. It's got a little red, a little ochre. And we're going to play in here First off, I'm going to take some of this and I'm going to bring it into where the flesh of the fish would be. And I'm just pressing and releasing. It's going to have very flowing little tail fins here, like so. Have it come trailing out there like that. They all don't have to be perfect. I don't want a stiff fish. As I flesh him out more and more, like so. Okay, so you still see a little bit of the background here on his. You see a little bit here, but it really won't matter. Like I say, a lot of highlights and stuff will shape all of that. Okay, so we're doing it up, basically a piece at a time. Right here will be the bone there that sticks out, and from there, I'm just gonna flick the wrist, get the flowing of his fin in here, right against the back, his backbone there. Just fleshing him out. Same with this guy over here on this side. The bone will be here, and the rest would be flared out. I could actually should have used a glaze color, but I really won't need to. We'll mess with different types of shading all in here too. Since this one here is out a little more, we can deal with that in the shading. I really don't have to really do anything particularly special with this part, especially with the white like that. I can just give you a hint of where the head, the leading edge of it would be, where the bone is. Then everything else kind of, goes with the flow. I'll try to give it the impression that the fish is still either underwater or whatnot. That'll come a little later toward the end. Okay. I can give him some interesting little patterns or whatnot, like say for instance, if I take a little bit of red, okay, and maybe some yellow, cad yellow and some red. I really don't want to add white, so I got plenty of cad red on the brush, so I'll use the cad red and I'm gonna move it over with the majority of yellow. They bring a different type of kind of orangish color. All right. And I'm going to, let's say if I want to plop an ovalish eye right around in here. I'll just color it red for right now, or this color, orange. So I've got an eye here, just blocking in the shape right now. And maybe right on around, over and around. It will probably be around in here. All right, now in putting the eyes here, all right, so we'll keep the eyes there. Now you have to think in relation to where his mouth would be. Okay, one, for instance, it's going to be, you got to keep the shape of the fish itself. And he does have fishy lips, of course, and we're going to draw his little thick fish lips too. But we're going to keep it right in here. Keep it pretty light right now, but they'll be up around in here. Don't necessarily have to put a smile on him. It won't look like a smile when I'm done. But basically where his head would be, his little, the gills You can either well, basically it can be behind him, up around in here, down below, and add a half turn there, like so. Okay, obviously the other gill will be somewhere up around in that area. Okay, now I like the strip liner because the strip liner can do the very fine type of dots and whatnot. We're gonna go with a little yellow, a lot of yellow actually, and we're gonna go into this titanium white with this yellow. This is where it can get pretty monotonous. A little more titanium white on this. Need something to kind of highlight against the colors I already have. The colors starting to set. I didn't add any medium to none of this yet. I might not. I might just do it all with the regular paint. Kind of a judgment call, you know. Okay, here we go. Let's start with the tail first. Now, in the lighter color, we're gonna put a little. Take your brush, slim like perpendicular to the canvas itself. You see those little dots? Now here in drawing scales, where you would have to go with the contour of the fish. Yeah, a series of dots, just like you see me doing now. Now with these little dots, one, you have to fill your brush quite often and twirl your brush while you're doing these, so you get as much paint as you can. Just do it right around the contour of the fish while I'm talking to you. And stay in one direction, if you can. Just like that, I'm twirling the brush around, I'm going up above. I'm twirling it around. If you feel that your brush is not, you feel that the paint is leaving it, get some more. It's okay. And I'll just a dab of do ya. You can darken up the dots as you go along or keep them a neutral color, and you can glaze color over the dots when they dry. So it's really up to you how you want to approach this. All right. So as I'm doing this, I'm going around, all right? And mainly you want all of this around the body itself. I'll leave these scales, if they are going around in the dark part, I'll leave them alone. I'll add a little bit of brown in all of that. Where the scales are, they're going to remain dark. Okay. I'll lighten up, as I'm doing this, I'll lighten up the other batches also. Now, as I go toward the top, I can actually lighten the top a little bit with the titanium white mixed in with the yellow and the cat red that I have on the brush. So up around in here. So you don't really have to highlight the color of the scales could be the highlight for you if you choose to go that route with it, and you don't have to do a whole row of them, just in the area where you think he's lit or where the light is. Okay, adding a little more white to the red and cat red that I have on my brush. Like I said, I don't have to add a whole lot. And plus I can pretty much glaze whatever I want. So as I'm doing this, if I just want that top part lit, that's fine. And you can see the scales here. As I add more of the scales, as I'm showing you how to do the scales, let's say you can do them even a little more detail in this if you would like. I'm going to go dark for a second here, adding a little bit of the umber right into the white and the reddish mix. And we're going to go down in here with the scales. And once it dries, I'll glaze some more of the color over these guys. And it will be a glaze, so you'll still see what I'm doing. Like I say, it can get pretty monotonous. All right, but you'll see the change in patterns and the darkness of these guys. And you don't have to add scales all over the fella if you don't want to. It's really truly up to you how much and how detailed you want to go with this. So it's really up to you. I'm gonna clean off my script liner. I'm gonna go back into my brighter color, the cad yellow and the cad red with a touch of the white, but some more yellow, more of the cad yellow. Got ochre in it too, yellow ochre. Got this weirdish, creamy, orangey kind of color. And I'm gonna go back into here. And maybe a little bit around the gill area here. Those tiny little bones. They got the tiny little bones that kind of splay outward, almost like a fan. All right. Especially up around the fin area. I have to keep that pretty thin. So I'm adding plenty of water, make it an inky-like consistency, because that was too thick. I can fade some of that right out of there, like that. Bring this back. I don't have it taped. All right, we're gonna try that again. And like so. And another one. There. There. And we're going to do one more on his lead fin up here. Like so. We can also highlight that, but that can also come last. Right up here on the top here. We'll a nice little light lead here. A lot of that will probably disappear as I do the final strokes on his fins. Remember that leading edge here, right where his spine is, right up in here. So we're gonna get a nice leading edge right up in here, just like so. But that's all that would be needed on that. I may put a little bit down below just for a little tail section, right up around here. Just alrighty. Where were we? Sorry about that. Okay, we were doing El Fisho here. Okay, I put in a little bit of little fish bones, a little bit of fish bones over here on this side. Still got some of the color coming through. All right, and we're gonna keep that. All right, a lot of this is probably dry already. It's acrylic, it dries very fast. And I'll probably get down with some glazing of the color to fill him out and put little highlights and whatnot on him on this side here. Okay, and round him off up around in this area. And then we'll do the details, and then, you know, that's it. Okay, since we're gonna get on to the glazing, I'm gonna still take the. I'm gonna take a 1-inch wide brush here. I'm gonna get some. I'm gonna work from the top for a little bit. I'm gonna glaze some titanium white and the cad yellow. A slight bit of red in that. If I can get some, there we go. Get some more white generally over all of it. And I'm gonna dip into my glaze a little. I want more of a glaze than anything. All right. More glaze than actual. I want more glaze than actual paint. And we're gonna just lightly go over the top, back and forth, almost like a. We're gonna flare some of that out there. Now remember, this is a glaze, so it won't be very opaque at all. Because once this stuff dries, you'll still see what's going on underneath it. Okay. And a little bit under here. It's just a glaze, remember? Just a glaze. So you'll still see some of the dark. I'm flaring it out. Where the fins are, flaring some of that out. And I can take some of that away if I feel it's too much. Like I say, it's still just a glaze. Okay. I'm going to get some cad or some yellow ochre. Dip just a little bit of the glaze in there. And we're going to darken the other half here. And blend that right up in there, like so. It's just a glaze. All right. Go into my umber. I'm gonna glaze. The umber is the shadow part down below. And it's, like I say, just a glaze. Sometimes I can just one stroke the thing round across like that. Since I had to get up from the chair, I don't have my apron on, but that's okay. And get some more dark going on around here on the bottom of this fella. And I'm just glazing that color on, like so. I can go as light or as dark as needed. It's still just a glaze. And if I feel if it's too strong, I can take quite a bit of that off. But I don't feel that's too strong. And back and forth. Now I don't want it heavy in the front. I'm just wiping off the brush here. I don't want it heavy here. So I'll just wipe little bits of that away, just like that. And you can do that, as you can see. All right. But I do like the shadow that it produces, so we're gonna add some of that right in here, right underneath this guy, just like that, just a little bit. Just a little shadow under there. And well, not really necessary in there. I'm gonna take some of the dark, I'm mixing it in with the glaze. I'm going from outward, I'm gonna go inward, just in certain spots by where the bones are, up in here. And I can do a little bit of that in here if needed. Just add a little darkness in there for right now. For right now. Somewhere in the pit of his tail, maybe, just a little bit. I don't want more here underneath than anything. Have a little darker underneath his tail. Don't worry about the soapiness of the that disappears, and then it'll just be a little darker. But I do need where his body is and where the tail is, right under here. That can be actually accentuated right up under there. Get some of that out of there too. Just like so. If there's a bit of paint that you don't want in a spot, just wet the tip of the brush a little bit. You can just dry brush so you get some of that out of there. Just get rid of it. Like so. Don't worry about the bubbles and all of that. But much like that. Just go almost from the dark, and we're gonna feather in some of these guys. Don't have to use all of the brush. With a little feathering going down in there. Still keep some of that dark. Like so. Don't need all of that. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Well, let's start with the right up in here. And we're going to have him go outward, so. And we're going to have him feather stuff out there. And remember, this is more of a glaze, so a lot of that will disappear. But you do want to maintain some of the flowing strokes. And maintain the background in this fella. I'm gonna go in reverse with this guy. I'm gonna go a little darker. Get some medium here. Loosen that up a little bit. And we'll spread some of that out.
Do you think you could post this if anybody wants them? They're antique pictures.
Actually, let me contact, because he's ringing me right now. I'll contact two people I know that might get into that. They'll probably reply to me tonight. And those will be wrapped up tonight when I'm finished here. Now, with the darkness all up in here, okay, with this guy, you can still see some of the scale patterns here. All right. I'll start waving up some of this in here. This is still pretty much how I kind of want it flowing in different directions here. Just like that. This here will be pretty much the same way, but it will be lit. Probably a little yellow ochre, a little white, a little more white. And we're gonna go around and we're gonna slowly, just like that. Almost looks like fire. And we'll give them some here, like that. And maybe around the tip, we have too much. Let me wipe some of that off. See, a lot of this could be just wiped right off. You tighten it up, wipe it right off. Smooth some of that out. This is where I wish I had I must have placed it somewhere. Yeah, it's right behind me. Okay. Let me get my bearings back here. Hold on. Let's wipe some of that out. Get some of that out of there. Like I say, don't worry about the bubbles. Bubbles pop and go away. Some of that soft edge in there, I'll feather some of that out of there too. Okay. Let's strengthen this area here. Not all of it, but I just want to give some areas pretty strong outline, but not too much. Like so. Just like you would flick a flower petal out. Just like that. Keeping some of the dark. Maintain. You get a little curve here. Just like that. I can put little bits of dark in there. Just a little bit. All up in here. A little bit in there. Like so. Rinse off the fan brush a little. Let's get a scrumble brush here. I'll scrumble on some scrumble on little bits of highs here and there. If I need to add some more white, I'll add some more white. Don't know if I necessarily would need it yet, but only in certain bits, certain spots. Just going with the flow of his fins and all of the good stuff. Like that. I'm going from the end. I'm going to press and bring it inward. Would be effective if it was darker. Definitely need to accentuate. There. We're gonna do a little bit that dark underneath him there. Right up in here, we'll spread some of that out like that, and it just accentuates what he has. He's his fins on the other side there. We're gonna go with the bright yellow, and we're gonna bring some of that inward. Press, and we're gonna go in and press. We're gonna go in a little bit. Wish I had some more white. They would really show this off. I can get some more white. That's really no problem. Just like so. Yeah, let me get a little more white. Just a touch more. Okay. I'm tapping just the front of the brush. Like that, maybe a little bit in there. I can always fade some of that back in. Not too much. Press and you just release. Just like that. As I'm checking things out a little bit, I can give it a little rough shine right here up on the top, maybe up around here, round it off a little bit. Just like so. There. All right. Okay. We're going to give the corner a little sharpness here. And all I'm doing is wisping away a little bit of the color. All right. If it's too bright, add some little yellow to it. The yellow all is going to do accentuate the white that's already on there. All right. Just like so. Okay, enough of that. I have some dark brown here, the umber, and I got some red. I'm mixing the red and that umber together. If I must, and it looks like I will, I'll add a little bit of blue. It'll get as close to black as I would really desire to have in this painting. So I'm getting some phthalo blue. All I need is a dot of it. I don't need too much. Because it's basically for a little bit of outline, his eyes, mouth, things like that. So just a tiny bit of this blue into this umber and cad red will get it ridiculously dark, but it will not be pitch black. But it you know, you might as well say it's black compared to all this bright. It's even darker than the deep maroon, which you see here. If you see this in person, you'll see that there's maroon, purple swirls, all sorts of stuff going on in that dark color. All right, okay, let's color in one eye here. Okay, I'll go on the next part of the eye here. Obviously the one facing us. Obviously a little more rounded. Remember, I covered it in the beginning with okay. Now, as far as his lips are concerned, we're looking up above him. All right. So basically, his lips are at a pout. They would come out. They would jut out a little more on the bottom. We're looking at them from up above. So basically, they would kind of poke out more at the bottom here. Not necessarily centered. All right. And not necessarily a frown, but it's the positioning of the mouth, if anything. And it's not really a 3/4 view, but it's pretty close. All right. And we can take a little bit of the white, just a little bit. Almost like a shine just above, just above. And it would jut out and almost out and around. All right. Odd, I know, but it makes sense. Okay. We're gonna give a little ring around that eye here. Don't even have to be a full one. Doesn't need to be. Even around here. A little outline, something like so. Because I gave him such dark eyes. Alright, let's get plenty of paint on the tip of the brush. We'll put a little highlight right there. A little highlight right up in there like so. Alright. Now remember, it's a little dark around those gills. Bet you thought I forgot about those gills, right? I'm just adding a little red into the sienna and blue. Almost like a little shadow. Right here around his little gill slit here. Just like that. If you want to give them a little baby one over on the other side, you can do that too. Okay. As I'm looking at it in various spots, and all I'm doing is just darkening and just going to accentuate a little bit of this with that color, pressing it in with my finger, not necessarily a hard edge or a hard line. Little details here and there. I'm just pressing, getting rid of a super hard line in there. Don't need a super hard line, and I'm just going with the flow of the fish itself. Okay. Just the side of the brush, if I can get it right. Don't need too much paint. Just a little bit of highlight just around here. The paint's gonna grab onto the texture of the canvas just a little bit. Not really too much up in there. I'm gonna do it again. Cross his back a little bit. Not too much, just a little. Maybe even around here on the side a little bit where it catches just a tiny bit, like so. All right. That's not too bad. It's fairly cool. Let's have some fun with this. But before I have total fun, let me, cause we're almost done here, and I would like to thank you for this probably quite entertaining segment of the, if I edit it right, you won't know what's really going on. But let's just say that I do have a guard dog, and he lets himself know. But that's cool. That's cool. All right. I am going to put my name on this somewhere. It probably will be well camouflaged within this. It might still work. Let's do it right here. Yeah, whatever. We'll put one right around in here. We'll put a little bit of one right there. And maybe one right in there like that. Let's get some bigger ones. I really didn't want it to be that opaque, but that's okay. It'll still work. Probably a little bit better with the bigger ones. So we'll get a bigger one. Little touch of blue. I'm trying to find a decent spot to maybe that'll work. Let's put a big one. Let's put one right up here like that. Yeah, see, that's what I'm looking for. Something like that. Let's put one right here. And one right in there like that. Put one down on the bottom of his face like so. We're going to the other side like that. Put one on the corner. You got some of the background showing. So it actually looks like little bubbles. And this is the last part. And we'll put one right around in here. Something like that. I think we're pretty much about done. Because we've got so much background going on. And there's some of them going over the fish itself. So we don't have to really go crazy with it. There. All right. As I'm doing this, my email address may have popped on the screen on the bottom already. So let me know what you think. Give me your input and other ideas you might have. I will get back to you if you do have questions. So, send me your emails or your letters, your questions, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. But let me know what you think overall. And if you want to see me do more stuff like this or not. I think we got everything here. So thank you for spending your time watching this. And I shall see you guys soon online. Take care of yourself. At the time of me doing this, it's the holidays, so I won't say what specific holiday because you guys can see this at any time. It could be Easter for all you know. All right, guys. I think this will do. This is about it. And once again, thank you very much. I think I heavily edited the video where you don't see too much stuff going on. What happened tonight, but all right. Anyway, let's draw back a little bit. There we go. Okay, guys. Anyway, there you have it. I think you guys can see it pretty good. Probably even without the light there. All right. And once again, thank you very much for checking this out. Hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed doing it. It was an all-day process. Partly my fault. This is probably the longest segment of the thing, besides the pour. So you got a little bit of everything going on in this video. All right. So I'll take a picture of this, and I'll let you see it up close. It'll be online on my on the work site, on the Facebook site. So until next time, guys. God bless. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Peace.